Everybody, this is Jenny C doing the promised review of Teen Wolf episode 6, or required reading. I usually, well, you know what? I'm going to do this episode, or I'm going to do this review a little different than I usually do it. I usually try to start off a positive note by going through what I liked or what I loved about the thing that I reviewed, and then going into later into what I really hated about the thing that I'm reviewing. This episode, I'm just gonna go straight into what I didn't like, because I didn't really like anything in this episode. Everything was terrible and horrible, and I by the end of this episode, I need to lay down and take a Excedrin and just chill for a moment, because because this episode had me so defeated and so just resigned. I couldn't even stand it. And then trying to put everything that I was watching, because this was my second time watching it when I did the live tweet on Twitter, putting that all together into something coherent was not happening. That's why I didn't do it yesterday, because at the end of that episode, I couldn't even put anything together. I couldn't really think about it. I had to go somewhere and go to a happy place. That's how I was doing all those wrecking all those Steric videos, because I had to go to a happy place. I had to have some distance. So that's why I'm doing it today, and I wasn't doing it yesterday. Okay. So I'm gonna go straight into what I hated about this episode, and there was a fucking lot. Oh my fucking god, it was. And yes, I'm cursing, so if you're a kid or you are a concerned parent, please don't let your kids watch this review. Just, go somewhere else. Push the back button. Bye. First and foremost, Scott and his infinite wisdom decides it's a great idea to read the Dread Doctor's book. The same book that led Tracy to become what she later became, was like sort of batshit insane and sort of not able to define what's reality and what's not reality. But Scott thinks it's Scott and Lydia, of all people. Lydia, why? Thinks that it's a good idea. She wants to know what happened to her. And I'm like, I get that. But why but you know that you can go insane. But you're going to do that anyway. And you already know how it is to go insane or to be mind fucked. Why would you think that? Why would you think that was a good idea? That was the best option for you to figure out what happened to you with the Dread Doctor. I just thought it was stupid. I thought it was really stupid. Scott, above all people, been like, no. And you know what also makes this stupid is that they did not confirm anything that Valak was saying, that Dr. Valak was saying at all, was true. I mean, you don't trust this man at all. He was obviously a bad guy. I haven't watched season 4. I never will. Don't even ask me, but people. I don't know completely what was going on with Dr. Valak, but it's obvious from what's in the context of this episode and the previous episodes that Dr. Valak is not a great guy at all. He's a shady asshole. And yet you're taking what he's saying at face value. I don't get that at all. It's just a stupid move on his part, on everyone's part. I would expect. I mean, Styles is being the most paranoid motherfucker ever. Styles didn't even speak up and say, "This is not the greatest idea ever." Usually, you can count on Styles to start poking holes in people's plans, obviously stupid plans. I mean, he used to do that all the time for Derek. But lately, he doesn't say anything. It's all about his guilt over Donovan. And I'm like, and I will be talking about that bullshit later. I've already said a good portion what I hate about this storyline, but I'll be saying it again later on in this video, so just hold your butts, people. The holes thing. So it took me a while to figure this out and to remember that Tracy was buried alive, and that Chimera, when they are made, they are buried alive and sort of sat and are basically put there for a long time to sort of marinate, and then they or incubate basically, and then when the doctors have need of them, they sort of like dig them up and send them on to do their mission. But it took me a long time to figure that the connection between the holes and that, because the doctors, being the most stupidest and most conspicuous villains ever, put a whole bunch of chimeras into the ground that is actually the lacrosse field in the most conspicuous place ever. I mean, did you not think at one point someone would be digging there? I mean, and doing lawn work? It could have been easily someone just accidentally digging and finding a body. I don't get that. That's stupid. And then the pack, because that's the school that they go to, would have figured out that some shit was going on, and then there goes your plans. I mean, and we still don't know what the hell is going on with the doctors. We still don't know their motivation. It's halfway into season 5A, and I'm like, we still don't know their plans. We still don't know their motivation. And I'm like, what the hell? What is the purpose of this whole mess in the first place? Oh my God, I'm so frazzled today. I can't even tell you. Malia and Styles again, as this Malio storyline goes forward, is coming more and more obvious. And I skipped all of season 3B. I skipped most of season 3A and season 4. So although I hate her because I've seen, the research and I know what she's done sort of throughout the series, they're once again putting the nail in the coffin that Malia and Styles are really close and they really know each other and they're really one true love, which I hate that trope. I really hate that trope. It's so lazy. I love romance. I mean, I grew up with romance. The romance genre is my genre. I mean, that and urban paranormal. So I pretty much am pretty sort of up to date with the romance cliches. And I'm like, I don't see any indication that this is true love. And again, it's sloppy storytelling. Back to Malia. Malia takes forever to figure out that something's not quite right with Styles. And I'm like, y'all supposed to be close. Y'all supposed to be true love and close, and you are not taking God knows how many days between episode 5 and episode 6 to figure out that something's not right with Styles. Styles is being quiet. Styles has always been a motor mouth. Styles is being quiet. He's not talking to you. He hasn't talked to you. He only ignored one. I mean, there was only one conversation that was referenced since episode 5. Episode 5 when was it episode 5? Episode 5 when he killed Donovan. But but you're now figuring out that something's not right. And it wasn't even at the beginning of episode 6. It was like halfway through episode 6 that she's starting to realize that something's not right. I just don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It's just like it screams of showing and not telling. Or no, it's the reverse. It stinks of telling and not showing that they are in love and that they know each other very well. It's just a symptom of a much larger problem that Teen Wolf has. And I'm sort of like pausing and jumping around is because this episode is really just got me discombobulated. I mean, I usually am discombobulated, but this really has gotten me messed up. And so I'm like pausing in the middle of this and just dozing off. And guys, I don't even know what to tell you. I just don't. Let's see. Oh, a couple of things. So everyone falls asleep because the book is apparently boring, which not a surprise to me. And so everyone falls asleep. And Theo, being the creepiest boy in the series so far, decides to go up into Scott's room where Kira has went to sleep. And in her sleep, once again, because that's been a thread for the last few episodes, Kira is mumbling in her sleep in Japanese. Now he does the smart thing and records it with his phone, and goes when he leaves, goes to his computer, opens the laptop, and gets it translated. Most likely using Google Translate, but I'm not going to talk about that. But why was this Theo who was doing this instead of, I don't know, Scott? And seriously, Scott should have been doing this from the get-go. He should actually know. You know what he should have been doing? He should have recorded what she was saying, and then when they woken up, saying, "Honey, you're saying stuff in Japanese in your sleep." And yeah, she would have been freaked out about it. But you know what y'all could have done together? Y'all could have went to Kira's mother, who is, by the way, a 900-year-old kitsune, and said, "Kira's fox spirit is being a little bit sentient, and she's mumbling things in Japanese in her words, in her sleep. What does this mean?" And Kira's mother, who's a 900-year-old kitsune, would have either known straight away what was going on and how to fix it, or had the resources and contacts who would have told her what was going on and how to fix it. This whole Kira and Scott thing and the kitsune spirit becoming sentient is fucking ridiculous, and it's stupid. And I'm like, it could be easily fixed, and I hate plots that can be easily fixed with one action. That drives me crazy. Also, what is driving me crazy? The pack. After they've read this, the next day the pack decides to separate like a bunch of idiots. You know, this book drives people crazy. It makes them not only a danger to themselves, it makes them a danger to everyone else. Yet you decide, instead of being in close proximity to each other, to where if something happens, one of you can stop the other person from hurting themselves or someone else. You decide, oh, let's go split up. Like a bunch of dumbasses. This episode should have been subtitled. I kid you not. Everyone's a dumbass. I swear to God, I wanted to bitch slap so many people in this episode. I am not even kidding you. Oh my God. Also, Hayden's storyline. Hayden's storyline never really made sense from the get-go. I didn't even know what the fuck. The moment I saw Hayden, I was like, "Aren't you Tracy?" Literally. Why is Tracy so fucking pissed off at Liam? It took me a while to realize that Hayden wasn't Tracy, because they all look. And I'm not trying to sound racist, because both the girl who plays Tracy and the girl who plays Hayden are both Latina, sorry. And I'm not trying to say that all Latinas look alike. No, I'm saying the haircut is similar, the facial features are similar. Come on now. But yeah, I never understood why she was so angry at Liam. I was thinking that he killed her dog or something. And I'll talk about that later. But the biggest issue with makes Hayden's storyline so stupid to me again is that, one, she is working illegally, because I tried to work. I was 16, 17, and I tried to work at a bar, and they told me they couldn't even hire me because I was 16, 17 at the time. So I know this from personal experience. You cannot be under 18 and work at a bar, period. In some states, you have to be 21 to work at a bar. But here in Texas, you have to be 18. I don't know how it is in California, but I'm guessing you have to be at the very least 18. Yet this chick is working underage selling alcohol. And you know what makes this worse? Her sister is a deputy who works with the sheriff. This is stupid. Why in the hell did she just get a job at Burger King like every other teenager? Seriously. She had to work illegally at a freaking bar. Why couldn't she just work at Burger King or at a fast food restaurant? If Buffy could work at a fast food restaurant and hate it, then you can too, dude. I don't understand that. That was so stupid. That whole storyline, the whole cinema thing is stupid. And the club is fucking boring as hell. I don't like nightclubs. I'd rather be at a movie theater or at a library than be at a nightclub. That's not my thing. That's never been my thing. But I was so bored at this whole scene at the club. I was like, I could have been watching Gotham. I could have, because I had to stop Gotham to watch this bullshit. Oh my god. Another thing that makes this stupid, the whole porn star scandal. So if you don't know, which you should by now, there is, Jeff Davis gave a cameo to a porn star, a very well-known gay porn star name. I think his name is Randy Blue. And he had this dude audition by taking his shirt off. And I'm like, no. No, there was a lot of male objectification going on in this episode for no good reason. The whole Malia and Theo scene that has sort of been pumped up since before the season began. Him sort of working out and no shirt, and Malia obviously, eyeing him up, and I'm like, which is sort of setting the storyline up for Malia to maybe possibly cheat on Styles with Theo. And I don't like cheaters, but I actually would be very happy if Malia broke up with Styles and got with Theo, because at least Malia and Theo have freaking chemistry and they seem to relate to each other. They're both sociopathic asswipes. So, it's attracted to like sometimes. And they got more in common. Oh my god, let's see. I've always called Scott, because I'm going to go back to the Scott and the Kira thing. I've always thought Scott to be kind of dopey. And I could sort of, he's a teenager, and he's like a lot of teenagers who that school is not really his thing, and he's more into sort of girls and sports, and I get that. But he's always been sort of kind of a little bit dopey, and I tolerated that because he's a teenager, and he's a teenage boy, and that's what teenage boys do. But I don't know if this is a season 5 thing, but Scott has become dumber with time. I mean, dumber. I mean, he's picking up on things. He's not picking on things that are obvious and right in his face. He's confiding in Theo and trusting Theo. He don't even know what's going on with Theo. You know, he's trusting Theo instead of sort of, you know, giving him sort of a probationary, sort of slowly over time trusting Theo. He automatically trusts Theo. He's confiding in Theo when he should be confiding this in his bro, the person that has been his best friend since he was a kid, his brother from another mother, you know, Styles. But he's confiding and making plans with Theo, and this is also another symptom of, you know, new characters taking over roles that established characters have been having since season 1. The Malia thing. Malia suddenly being super sleuth. You know, her sort of tracking down clues, or as much clues as she can track down, because she's never done a brick. But, you know, tracking down clues and sort of really being invested in finding out what the Dread Doctors are up to and their motivations. And I'm like, why isn't the Styles doing this? Styles is so concentrated on and focused on the whole Donovan thing. And even then, before Donovan, he wasn't really doing the sleuth thing. It was always, even though he has the plexiglass board of justice, you don't really see him doing any sleuthing, and that's always been Styles' job, and that's what's been making me angry, is that Malia's been taking over Styles' job, and Theo, in a way, has been taking over Styles' job by sort of being the sort of person that Scott confides in, the person that Scott goes and asks for advice. I don't get why these new characters are taking over Styles' sort of purpose in the show. I don't get that. I really don't. Kira suddenly not able to read a fucking book. Now some say that maybe it's the book itself that's really affecting her fox spirit, but it just feels, no. My instinct is saying no, this is just bullshit. This whole she can't read thing, it just feels like they pulled it right out of their asses. You know, she's not reading a book. This would have been an interesting sort of a setback, a con to the whole Kitsune thing, that she suddenly becomes dyslexic and that she can't read. That would have been actually a really great, and I know it's sort of cribbing a little bit from Percy Jackson and the Olympians, but it would have been a really great setback for her, especially because she's sort of studious in a way, and that, you know, her schoolwork is very important to her. That would have been a real sort of setback for her. But we sort of get this all of a sudden that she can't read this book, and I'm like, first of all, why is this particular book is making her not read, making it hard for her to read? Shouldn't have been it over the last 2 years. And again, people have said that maybe it's the book and its sort of special qualities, but I don't know. It's just it doesn't sound right, and it feels like he very, very much pulled it out of his ass. Also, her not knowing Japanese. Now, I know in most immigrant families, or not most, but some immigrant families, they don't do much to preserve their culture or their language. And it just happens that way. But with Kira's mother, she seems like she's, from what I've seen of her, she seems like she's the type of person who will be very focused on trying to keep her history, her culture's history and language alive, and that she would probably pretty much demand that Kira would learn Japanese. I feel that was stupid. Some people find it racist, and it might be. I was just too disgusted to really pick up on it. Also, especially because they mentioned that she's having a C in English, and that is really out of character for her, because her parent is a teacher, and so it goes without saying that the other teachers know her father, and that the moment her father finds out that she's not keeping up with her grades the way that she's supposed to, he'll be on her ass like white on rice. But all of a sudden, you know, she has a C in English, so that might be where the racism comes in. Also, it's out of character because her herself is sort of a smart, studious person. She's in AP classes with Lydia, but she's all of a sudden failing subjects. I don't get that. It just feels OC. Let's talk about Mason, because we're talking about the scene, and I have issues with Mason. I really can't stand Mason because the times that he's in it, he makes really inane comments that really get on my nerves. He has no real purpose. He's supposed to, Sticky Key says that he's sort of be the new Styles with the research, but that would be something, a purpose for him, if he consistently throughout the series and through the season, since he's found out, being shown researching when shit happens. We have not seen that with Mason at all. We've only seen him come in and out since the first episode. But all of a sudden, he's researching, and to me, to me, Mason is either exposition, because that's what his main role was. His episode was that he was the main exposition of his episode, especially when it comes to Liam and Hayden and the whole why Kira can't read the book. He felt like his role was purely exposition, and that was it. He added nothing else to the plot. He wasn't there throughout the episode. That's what I'm saying. I think what pisses me off about Mason the most is that I see that he is a token character. Jeff Davis was bragging that he was going to, flesh Mason out and make him three-dimensional, but all I see is cardboard cutouts. You know what I mean? We never really see him. Look, the moment that Mason seems like the person, in the moment that he found out that the supernatural was real, that he would want a place in the pack. We have not seen him really contribute a lot to the pack, and that's what pisses me off, because we don't know anything about him. His only personality traits seems to be sort of a weird curiosity and quirky sense of humor, and then, being all about the D, and that's it. And I want more from Mason. Also, I think it's the actor himself who rubs me the wrong way. I never really liked the actor since the whole fluffer comment came out earlier this year. With him, I just don't really like the actor. I really don't like what Mason stands for, and that's what really bugs me, and why his comments, which usually wouldn't bug me, really just, it's like nails on a chalkboard to me right now. Let's see, what else do we have? Let's see. The Hayden and the marriage things. Lord have mercy. Teen Wolf and Jeff Davis subsequently cannot write UST and romance if God came down from heaven and said, you must write UST in subtext, they can't do it. God only knows what happened, how Steric became Steric, because they cannot write genuine UST and romance for nothing. And they keep putting these people together that have zero romantic chemistry or on-screen chemistry. Like, you didn't even do a screen test before you hired these people, because Hayden has no chemistry with Liam, and Lydia has really no chemistry with Parrish, and it's obvious with Lydia scenes, particularly Lydia, that Holland is like, I don't even care, just give me my money, I'm gonna do what I do, and I'm gonna give you my money, I'm gonna go, because it's obvious that no one gives a shit about the show anymore, including Jeff Davis, and it's just like the acting is subpar and the romance is subpar, and I'm just like, basically they keep shoving in these scenes, and it's the equivalent of them coming in and, like, a guy with a big ass postboard waving a big sign that says they're going to be together, aren't they great together? And I'm like, yeah, we know they're going to be together, why must you continually shove this shit in my face? And especially it was so egregious in this episode, because they would do the marriage, not even the marriage, because only Parrish was there for like a little bit of the episode, but particularly the Hayden Liam scenes, they would slow down. It was supposed to be a tension-filled scene to do the Hayden and Liam shit. Now where was I? Because I had to take a break to go feed and change my baby, because I have a 6-month-old baby, so you know how that is. So back. Hayden, and my biggest issue was Hayden and Liam's relationship, how it's done. At first, at the top of it, we assume that something really bad has happened between them, something tragic, maybe something like, because she's holding a grudge for like 5-6 years. They're what, freshmen, sophomores, so it's got to be it happened in 6th grade, so I'm thinking 5 or 6 years, and I think it's something that he did something really bad to her, and that's why she's so pissed off at him. Comes to turn out that no, they got into a fight, or no, Liam got in a fight with some other guy, and in the fight he accidentally punches Hayden out. Hayden, in rightful retribution, goes and kicks it and punches him out as well. And so they have like matching photos of them sort of with black eyes. And it's like, okay, you got yours, why are you still pissed off? And so she's holding this grudge for like 5 or 6 years, and it was so stupid. I was like, that is so stupid. And also, I think I spoke about this earlier, but I'm not sure. Mason and his sort of role as being exposition this episode, yeah. The marriage stuff. Oh, let's talk about the marriage stuff. It was only a little episode. The last couple episodes, Parrish hadn't had a lot of screen or dialogue time. I don't know why. To me, Parrish is the best part of this show so far. Parrish, Kira, and Styles are the best part of the show. Everything else sucks. And they're trying to shit on Kira, and it's obvious. They're trying to set up this stupid, contrived storyline to make her be a villain towards the end of the season, which is sort of stupid, but oh yeah, that's what I was talking about. The whole Hayden and Liam, and then earlier Mason and Parrish scenes really slowed down the action, especially the Hayden and Liam scenes. In the middle of those scenes, the scene before was a really sort of suspenseful, or was supposed to be suspenseful, scene where Scott is having all of a sudden out of nowhere, because I thought being a wolf cured his asthma. There's no explanation for that. His asthma attack. And we immediately cut to the Hayden and the Liam scenes where they're trying to one each other up, and basically it has like Liam throwing a ball really hard and unnaturally hard at the goalie for lacrosse. I'm just happy to see lacrosse. That's the only thing I liked about that. I was just happy to see lacrosse some stuff mentioned, because I haven't seen lacrosse mentioned at all. I thought it was gone, because Styles no longer has an interest in lacrosse. Scott no longer has an interest in lacrosse. So I was just happy to see lacrosse, people. I was just happy about it. But yeah, those romance scenes really slowed down the action. It was out of place, and it was ridiculous, and it was so obvious and ham-fisted. Let's see. I did talk about Mason. I think I did earlier, so I won't talk about it again. I already talked about that. Let's see. I already talked about Thea doing the Kira thing. So when we talk about that, what else? The flashbacks. My biggest point of contention with this episode is the fucking flashbacks. I think it's the biggest point of contention for everyone in the fandoms, who are still watching, was these flashbacks. I didn't really care about the whole Scott and the dog. He lost his dog and he got a flashback. I didn't even care about that. Not really. Although I must say, Scott was the cutest little boy ever. He was so cute. He was adorable. I just wanted to pinch his cheeks. But the whole Styles thing was so... I mean, I have been waiting since season 1 to get a glimpse of Claudia and to know more about Claudia, because she, even though she is not there and she's dead, her presence is felt throughout the whole series. From the first season to now, you can almost feel her presence there, because she is still loved and still talked about. Even though she's not talked about a lot, you can still feel her presence there. And I wanted to know so much more about this character. And for them to do Claudia this way, for them to do Styles this way, is abhorrent. I can't even... I was so mad. Because Claudia has frontal lobe dementia. And I was like, okay. I was thinking it was cancer. It felt like it was cancer. But you want to go that road? That's fine. I had nothing to say about that. But in this scene, she's talking about how Styles is trying to kill her. Then they also reveal, because the sheriff says, that Styles is 10 years old. Which fucks up the whole fucking timeline. Because if he was 10 years old, he would be, what, 19, 20, according to the storyline? It just goes to show you that the storyline is bullshit. The current storyline is bullshit, and Scott and Jeff Davis has because he wrote this episode, by the way, has no fucking idea what he's doing, and no fucking idea about the background or the characters, or he doesn't even care. This whole episode was a prime example of nobody giving a shit about the story that's being told, the series, the characters, nothing. This whole episode was prime fucking example. And then she's talking about, oh, he's trying to kill me. You don't see how he's looking at me. And I'm like, we never get any resolution. I don't think we ever will. I have little hope that we'll ever will get any resolution to why Styles feels so guilty about his mother's death. We do know that Styles was there when his mother died. We do get that. And I can see that being sort of survivor's guilt, that he couldn't do anything to help her. But there's also almost an impression that, especially with that episode in season 2, and now this episode here, that Styles was some way as a 10-year-old child. I don't even know. apparently he was Damien, Damien, I don't know, was responsible for killing his mother. We never get any answers to that. We still haven't got any answer to that, and this is 5 seasons later. And also, what makes this particular scene so egregious was that we've had, although this scene says otherwise, although Styles' guilt says otherwise, that for the most part, he was really, really close to his mom. He was closer to his mom than he was to his father, I think. Like, he was, without a doubt, a mama's boy. We get that. And because there's like little things that the sheriff has said, some things that Scott himself has said, some things that Styles has said. It's only little things, but the little clues that we did have throughout the episode told us that, but the series is that Styles and Claudia's relationship was a close one, and it was a good one. That they had a really good relationship with each other. And yet, I felt this scene, Jeff was shitting on that. He's shitting on the Stilinski family feels. Oh yes, ma'am, he was. And this is not nothing new. He's been doing that all season. I was really expecting, after the whole wolf came out of the bag thing, that we would see some closeness, but it seems that he's more and more isolating Styles. I'm almost thinking that he's doing what he was doing with Derek last season, more and more isolating Derek, more and more sort of stripping everything that makes Styles. I mean, he's stripping away the fact that he's the team detective. He's stripping away the fact that he is and always been Scott's main person that he would go to when something is wrong or confide in. I feel like he's more and more stripping that away. He's also doing, and by doing that, he's shitting on the Stilinski feels, the Stilinski family feels, and it's pissing me off. I also like to mention, because someone mentioned it on Twitter, and I'll say this because it was such a great point, that it feels like we can never get can never have just a single scene where we have Styles and his dad just, even hanging out or just, talking. I would like to see more of that. We haven't got any of that this season. It's always Styles and Malia together with the sheriff. It's always Scott and Styles with the sheriff. We never see that, and it saddens me. It really does, and it pisses me off. I just oh, and finally, because I'm getting down to the wire here, guys, let's talk about the whole Theo and blackmailing Styles, because Styles is right in deep of this hallucination with Claudia, and then all of a sudden is breaking up into the Chimera, who we didn't even get a whole lot of foreshadowing for. We got like a little bit of foreshadowing for, and it was, and Theo coming and sort of saving the day, where Scott's not saving the day at all. Actually, the action is not by Scott at all. This episode, it's by Malia and Theo, and this is not the first time that's done this. He's not really had any, Scott has not had any real action scenes throughout the season so far. Not really. I mean, it's always someone else going against the main villains, and yet he is the he's supposed to be the true alpha. He's supposed to be the hero of the story, and I don't see him pushing. I don't doing anything. I mean, he's got to be so far the laziest hero I have ever seen in my life. I mean, seriously, he is lazy. He doesn't do shit. I mean, he doesn't do shit. I don't get that. Let's go back to Theo and sort of saving Styles, and he goes and he by killing this guy, and he's like, Styles, you can't tell Scott. You can't tell Scott. And I'm like, why? This guy was going to kill not only a person you know, but another human being who had no chance of really defending himself. Not really. There was nothing in there where he could really fight. There was nothing really up there that Styles could really fight with. And Styles was in the midst of having a hallucination or a flashback or whatever the hell that shit was. And you saved him. And the only way you could have saved him and stopped this person from hurting somebody else was to kill him. Why is killing in self-defense or in defense of others so wrong in this series? It's so ham-fisted, this whole storyline of Scott not wanting no one to kill. That's bullshit. This is war. This is war. Yet you are refusing to do what you need to do to help people, and sometimes you have to kill supernatural creatures to help people. I don't understand that. It pisses me off because it's so heavy-fisted, heavy-fisted. It's so ridiculous. It is so ridiculous, and I don't even get that. I don't even get that, and I'm not the only one who feels this frustration, and I know it. Going back to Theo says, and Styles says, why shouldn't I? And he said, because I won't tell Scott what you did with Donovan, that you killed Donovan. Again, one of the best scenes in the episode, but still, this whole murder shit, it's not about how they feel guilty about murdering this guy. It's about how Scott feels about murdering this guy. You know what I'm saying? In the end, it's not about Styles' reaction to murdering somebody or killing somebody, which would be understandable, or Theo feeling guilty, which he wouldn't because he's a sociopath. But no, it's all about Scott. This further proves that Scott is the most Gary Stu to Gary. He's the most Gary Stu person since he's the most Gary Stu television character since Cordell Walker. I'm not even playing with you. Cordell Walker was a Gary Stu, but oh my God, Scott is going head to head to Cordell Walker from Walker Texas Ranger with Gary Stuism. This is why he's a Gary Stu. This is why he is unbelievable as a true alpha, as a legendary hero. Because he doesn't work for it, and he doesn't realize, and his ham-fisted moralities that came out of nowhere, because he was damn sure, happy-go-lucky about killing Gerard. He was season 2. He was happy listed to kill Peter, but all of a sudden he doesn't want to kill anybody. It just came out of nowhere, and it's bogging everything down. You can see it. So much would have been solved. This whole Donovan storyline wouldn't have been a big thing if it wasn't for the storyline. This whole tension between Styles and Scott wouldn't have been a big thing. It's just, it's aggravating. It's aggravating. So in the end, the episode was crap. I was pissed off. I was tired. I was resigned. I was defeated. At the end of this episode, it sucked all of my joy, because when I went to go watch this episode, I was just watching Gotham, and Gotham, to go from the good writing the solid good writing that's on Gotham right now, and then to go straight into Teen Wolf was such a letdown. It's just such a letdown. I could have been watching Gotham. I said this on Twitter, I'm going to say this again. This is an hour I can't even get back. And I want it back. I should get on a plane to California, march up to the studio, knock on Jeff Davis' door, and tell him to give me some type of some retribution. Some monetary retribution or something. Because this hour is the hour I can get back. And it's what makes this even worse is that instead of being the best episode out of the season because it's written by the person who intimately knows the universe and intimately knows the characters, this is the most OOC, messy, ridiculous episode of the season. By far, I thought episode 4 was bad with the Go-Go Boys. But no, this has got to be the most abhorrent, terrible episode of the season so far. I don't even have, at this point, I don't even have hope that season 5A will end in any of a good note. We also know from spoilers that the Doctors is going to carry on into season 5B. Why? I don't even. It just shows that. Also, I think Siki Key said this the best. She says, you had a fucking year to prepare for this fucking season, and yet this season is horrible. Why is this? Did you just sit? I don't understand it. Did he and his writers just get into a writer's room and just get hot boxed and get high and just wrote this piece of shit out of their asses? I don't understand. And yes, I am fucking angry because I had to sit here and watch this shit, and I don't understand. And you know what? I was going to say this earlier. I was going to say this in another video, but I'm going to say this now. Is it just me, or does this whole season feel fake? Every emotion is very contrived. Every storyline comes out of their asses, and it could be easily solved. It just feels fake. There's no real heart to the show anymore. Styles, my baby. And you know I love Styles. Styles and Derek was my baby, but he's went on to a better place. But Styles, my baby, resembles nothing of the kid I started out with. And it's not because it's character growth, good legitimate character growth. No. He's no longer interested in lacrosse. He doesn't have a sense of humor. I've never, throughout the whole season so far, I've not seen him crack one joke. You don't see any forms of geekery with him. You don't see him studying, because that used to be important to him. You don't see him researching anymore. You don't see him sleuthing anymore. What the fuck is going on with Styles' character? Styles' character in this season has been so OOC, I can't even tell you. And I don't know if this is a symptom of what happened in season 4, or this is season 4 Styles going into season 5. I don't even know. It just makes me angry that they can't even write Styles' character right anymore. I just... But you know what? Like a silver lining, like a raise trickling down on a pile of shit, I got this news for you. Now, I'm actually going to see if I can pick this up here. Oh my god, because it was on the Beacon Hills podcast Tumblr last night. Let me see if I can pick it up. Come on. Let's see what I got. I'm scrolling, guys, because I got good news for you. Oh my god. You know what? I'm trying to find the ratings. The ratings were the lowest, the second lowest of not only the season, but the second lowest in the history of the show. Let's think about that. Fans are seeing this, and the casual viewers are seeing this, and they're not really happy with what they're seeing. Oh, you got the teeny boppers who are kissing, who think that if you say something, or you say something bad about a show, that doesn't make you a true fan. Which, if you actually can sort of analyze the show and find bad things in it. It's not necessarily, or analyze the show. If you're analyzing the show, it actually, for the most part, either shows that you really hate the most of the show, like I do at this point, or that you really love the show. I do that with Buffy. There's some things with Buffy I hate, but it doesn't make me less of a Buffy fan. Doesn't make me love Buffy any less. You know what I'm saying? I'm watching Flash. I have issues with the Flash. Oh, I have many issues, and I'll be talking about it in another video. The Flash, but it doesn't make me love the Flash any less. You know what I'm saying? But that's the only. But these fans who don't think that saying anything bad about Teen Wolf is bad, it's the only one is saying good things about Teen Wolf and saying, oh, it's the best of the season. Fuck off. Get out my face. Get out my face. It was the best of the season. It's such great writing. And I'm like, so your only writing is Twilight and Hush Hush and House of Night and all that bullshit. You don't know one other good writing or reality shows. I'm going on a tangent, I know, but the only people that are saying good things about the show is the sheeple that are too stupid to realize that what they're being given is shit, basically. Everybody else is realizing TV Guide gave them shade. TV Guide gave them shade. You know TV Guide's all up in Jeff Davis's ass. He ain't got nothing but good words to say about his ass. This episode gave him shade. AV Club has been giving him shade all season. It is not just us pissed off fans. It's everybody else is seeing this fan and seeing for what shit it is. And so they're saying, oh, we're going to have season 6. I say, If a season 6 happens after these abominable, call it, ratings, I'll be surprised. And you know what? It's another reason why we're seeing so much product placement. Because nobody's watching this shit anymore. Nobody's watching it live anymore. Because it sucks. I hate watching it. But I rarely watch it live on television. I stream that shit. Or download that shit. So that's the silver lining. I swear, if they give us another episode like this, I'm A, lose my mind, and B, I'm gonna cackle and laugh with the rest of us when this motherfucking ship goes down in flames. Now I'm done because I'm tired. I gotta go feed my kids. It's about lunchtime for them. I will be back to do another review next week, hopefully a little earlier than what this episode was released. And then I probably sometime this week I will do a review with Flash episodes 6 to 12 because I have a lot to say about that. So this is me, guys. You know, your favorite masochist, because that's all. You got to be a masochist to be watching this. Signing off. Bye bye.